to Eric, and I just want to make sure. Are we doing rate the team right now? Is that what
We
you wanna
are.
do?
We are.
We're on
All right,
time,
rate the
man.
team.
We're like, look at us. I mean,
8 o'clock, right on the money. We're doing
Yeah,
pretty
I
well
know.
today.
Jeez.
All right, Chris Fedor's on the line from 92.3 The Fan. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Christopher.
We'll get to him in a second.
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's
There
going
he
on?
is.
All right, and on Skype, too, it's Kenny Roda.
There he is.
Hi, Kenny.
I'm ready to rock and roll.
All right, you
This
guys
should be
ready
a
to
lot
rate
of
the
fun,
team?
guys.
Should I let Eric run this again, or should I just
Yeah,
take
let him.
over?
As long as it's not a 7-part question, we can get this going.
All right. By the way, no takers for Eric's sweater yet this morning.
Yeah.
So, Chris, I don't know if you've had a chance to see it, but it is the ugliest thing ever.
Did you offer it up to any of the women?
Women don't even want it, and it's a woman's sweater. That's what's scary. All right, Eric, the referee, what are we doing? What are we grading first?
All right. I want you to grade Campbell's performance yesterday.
Jason Campbell's performance. Let's start with Chris Fedor. Hi, Chris.
Hey, guys, I'm going to go with an F for Jason Campbell. I thought there was an opportunity for him to make plays in the first half. He simply didn't do it, and the way that the game really turned offensively for the Browns was when they went to the Wildcat with Marquise Gray, and then they ran the ball with Edwin Baker. So for me, I look at that performance against Jason Campbell. You're at home. You're coming off that great game against New England where you nearly threw for 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. You have one of the most talented wide receivers on your side in Josh Gordon, and you simply didn't make any plays to help your team win that game against Chicago, especially in the first half when Jay Cutler was turning the football over and giving the Browns the opportunity. That's an F performance. Jason Campbell is showing why he's a backup, because he can play well in stretches and for some games like he did last week against New England. But he's simply not a guy that you want as your starting quarterback on a weekly basis.
All right, Kenny Roda. Grade the Jason Campbell.
There's my production value again.
D, nice
I'm
job.
going to give him a D simply, and I agree with some of what Chris had to say there, but I don't put it all on him because I thought the offensive play calling was terrible. They should have run the football more, because then if you run the football more and you're successful at it, you can set up play action off of that. Now, would he have completed those passes? We don't know, but I'm not going to put it all on Jason Campbell yesterday. But Chris is right. Go back and look at the last 4 games, guys. All 4 losses with him as a starter. I was checking out the numbers. He's had 1 good game in the last 4, and that was against the New England Patriots, and that is why he's a backup, but I can't put it all on him, so I give him a D.
All right, Kenny, I'm going to just echo, just so I don't waste a lot of time here. A lot of the things you just said, I agree with. He's a D. The pick 6 was pathetic. The ball was hanging up in the air yesterday, and that's my other reason why I don't know why they didn't run the ball. Because if you remember the interception that was supposed to go to Cameron, the first interception of the game, that ball just laid up in the air for forever. And Cameron, some people were trying to criticize Cameron on that play. Cameron knew the ball was over his head, the ball was hanging, and there was no way he was getting to it. I give Jordan Cameron credit for realizing at that point he was on defense once the ball was in the air. So, your thoughts?
Well, again, I don't want to waste a lot of time either, just for what we just talked about. But
right.
Jason Campbell is a backup quarterback, guys. Let's not get all crazy about it. Browns fans, let's not get crazy about it. We all know we're dealing with a backup quarterback. Backup quarterbacks make mistakes. They don't finish games, okay? That's just not how. Other than Matt Flynn of the Packers, you got my vote. But it's a backup quarterback. Did he play his best game? No. He had a 67 rating yesterday. By far one of his worst games in the last 4 weeks, for sure.
Next, Eric, the referee. What do you got?
The running backs against one of the worst rushing attacks.
Running backs. We'll start with. Let's start with Kenny on this one. Hi, Kenny. You're
There
giving
you
the running
go.
backs
Big,
an F,
big
huh?
fat F. Number one, all the running backs are a joke. They have absolutely no running backs that are worth a damn on this football team. And the one guy that they did have, they let go, and Bobby Rainey's running well for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So for me, the running back situation, yes, they're going to get a nice draft pick for Trent Richardson, who actually scored and had a somewhat decent game for the Colts yesterday. But when you look at that running back roster, it's just an absolute joke. I laugh at the guys that are playing running back in the NFL for the Cleveland Browns.
I do too, and I'm going to come back here but I disagree with you, Kenny. I'm going to give him a B because that's not. Well, is that a heart? Yeah, I guess it's a heart the wrong way. All right, sorry, it's a B.
The broken heart with the way the
Here's
Browns
why I'm
are
giving
playing.
you a
And
B
put little
because
crack
I
in
don't
there,
think.
make it a broken
But
heart.
Kenny, I don't think it was the running back's fault yesterday. For the first time all season, I thought they had a running game with Edwin Baker. The guy averaged less than 5 yards a carry, and he touched the ball 8 times. Marquise Gray got 2 carries. Their run defense stunk, and that F belongs to the play calling yesterday for Norv Turner. I'm not going to blame the running backs on it.
They picked up Edwin Baker this week off the street. That's all you need to know about the running back as a whole, they don't have any that are worth a damn.
No,
So
I agree
that's
with
why
you that-
I give them, if I'm grading them on the guys that are on the roster, and yesterday's performance, yes, they didn't get the ball enough. Still, I look at that, and if I'm the Chicago Bears, I don't fear any of those guys.
All right, what do you got, Chris?
You know, Andy, I'm kind of along the lines with you. I'm going to go with a B- because I actually thought Edwin Baker gave them a little bit of something in the backfield. I thought he provided a little bit of a spark. I thought he provided some juice that Willis McGahee certainly didn't have at the beginning of this season. And I don't think he played in the second half. I was looking for Edwin Baker the entire second half saying, where is this guy? And it was all Chris Obanaya. And I think that's on the play calling. I think that's on North Turner. I think that's on Rob Chudzinski, too, for the packages that he put into the game. But I thought Edwin Baker, when given the chance, and it was just a small sample, but when given the chance, I thought he played pretty well given the circumstances and the fact that he just got here this week.
I'm going D+, but I'm giving the offensive line an A because I thought that was one of the best games the offensive line has played all year. They should have ran the football. They should have finished that game in the fourth quarter. They don't allow a sack. I thought the offensive line played by far one of its best games of the year, and that's a game that should not have been 38-31. They should have pounded Chicago. So the O-line's an A. I think the running attack was a D+, because I agree with Kenny on some of those things. When you got to go pick a guy off the scrap heap in the 14th week of the season to run and start, I mean, he did score. That's pretty pathetic.
All right, last topic from you, Eric.
All right, true or false question here. The Browns have the best defense in the AFC North.
True or false? Let's go to Kenny on this one first. Kenny, go ahead.
I'm gonna
F
give
for
it
false?
an F
Yeah.
for false. I think right now you're starting to see as the season progresses, other teams' defenses are getting better while the Cleveland Browns defense is getting worse week by week. You can't blow 3 fourth quarter leads in a row and say that you have the best defense in the AFC North. So that's a big fat F for false for me on the Browns.
I'll make mine quick. It's false. The reason it's false is because this team's giving up 30 points per game. Why don't you go ahead, Mike?
False. Baltimore's only given up 261 points to this point in the season. So I still think the Ravens, even with all the changes they've had, still has the best defense in the division.
Chris?
I say false. I think Baltimore's better. I think Cincinnati is better, too. Cincinnati's been dealing with a ton of injuries on their side of the ball. They lost their best cover corner in Leon Hall. They lost their best defensive lineman in Geno Atkins. They played a stretch without Ray Maluga, one of the guys who makes all the checks for them at linebacker, and I think they're still a better defense than the Browns. You got to show up against the good teams in the NFL, and you got to find a way when you absolutely need the stops late in the fourth quarter. You got to find a way to dig down and get those stops. You can't let guys like Chad Henne go 80 yards for you for a game-winning score.
All right, Eric, true or false? You had no question there. You just came up with the first question that came to your mind.
That would be true.
True. Came up with that one. All right, let me throw this one last question. I know Tubby Dog's waiting, so hang on, Tubby. I see you there. Let me ask you guys one more question, and this is my question for you. If the Browns decided not to start the season with Brandon Weeden, where would they be right now with any other quarterback? You go first.
If that was Jason Campbell, and I asked this question to Reggie Rucker a couple weeks ago on Sports Sunday, I think if Jason Campbell started from training camp, this team would at least be in the hunt. They'd be around 500, but not better than 500.
Chris Fedor.
I agree with Mike. I think they would be in the hunt, you know, when they show that big graphic on ESPN or CBS or NBC. You would see them in the hunt, and you would see their logo. But I can't see a team with Jason Campbell as the starting quarterback being better than 500. So I would say better than they are right now, but not a 500 team.
All right, and the Hoyer wild card. What if Hoyer would have started the season as starting quarterback? Incomplete? It's a tough question.
It is a tough question. You know, I look at what Brian Hoyer did, and I can't disagree that he sparked the offense and he gave them some life. But at the same time, he did it against Minnesota. Everybody has played well against Minnesota. And he disappeared for the third quarter against Minnesota and put together one drive against Cincinnati the week after that. So I still look at Brian Hoyer and say, even though he gave them a spark, I can't see them being a 500 football team with that guy because I think he's too flawed still.
Chris, thank you so much. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
You got to guess.
All
Thanks,
right,
Chris.
and let's answer this up with Kenny. Why don't you finish this up here?
I'm along the same lines, guys. I don't think they'd be better than 500. Even if you put in Hoyer or Campbell to start the season. You're still having Fozzie Bear running the football out of the backfield. You're still giving up 49 points over the last 3 games in the. I mean, think about that. They've been outscored 49-21 in the fourth quarter over the last 3 games. Chud's still a first-year head coach. Ray Horton is still in his first year as the defensive coordinator. Would they be a little bit better than the 3rd worst record in the entire NFL? That's what they are. They're tied for the 3rd worst at 4-10. Yeah, they'd be a little bit better than that, but I don't think more than maybe 2 more wins.
Kenny, thank you. Nice job. We'll check in with you a little bit later towards the bottom of the hour.
All right, sounds good, guys.
All right, let's talk to one of our favorite folks on this show. He's the Tubby Dog. Saw some pictures of you in the Muni lot yesterday. Looked like you were having fun with your buddies.
10 minutes.
Oh yeah, we were up at the Barley House actually.
Well, okay, so you were at Barley House. I swear I saw a picture of you in the Muni lot, but you were at the Barley House, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's several bearded fat guys that I could have been anywhere, but
No,
I
it
was
was
up
totally
at the Barley
you.
House with Pumpkin Nation and 92.3 The Fan and all those guys.
Yeah, how'd that go yesterday? I saw Pumpkin Nation walking around yesterday. How was Barley House yesterday?
It was pretty good. It was pretty packed. It was about 50-50 Browns Bears. I brought a couple of Bears fans with me, so they had a really good time. And I wanted to take them to an environment where
They would be loved?
they wouldn't be afraid to walk around, I guess, and wouldn't take too much crap. And that's where I took them. So
Did
we
they?
had a good time. We met up with a lot of the Twitter folks. Met up with Laura. Met up with Tom Siders and Rick from Lakewood and Karen Ford and all those guys.
Okay,
So
that
it
was the
pretty
picture
cool.
I saw
It was
yesterday.
a good time.
Yeah, that was the picture I saw yesterday. What do you got for me?
Oh yeah.
No, I mean, so you got 2 weeks left, Tubby Dog. Your team just blown their 3rd straight fourth quarter lead. I mean, it could be a 7-7 team, but they're not. So where are you at? As a Browns fan, give us the Browns fans' perspective now with 2 weeks left. Are you just saying get this thing over with so I can move on, or do you still have some juice left in the tank to scream and yell for the next 2 weeks?
I don't know. I mean, next week we got the Jets, and it's in New York, and I really could care less. I'd like for them to win just because, I don't like the Jets head coach, and I like seeing him cry. But other than that, I really don't care. And then the final game of the year is at Pittsburgh, and of course you're going to get pumped for that one. And I would love to beat those Zinzer bastards in their own home, But other than that, that's pretty much about it, and then just hang out, wait till May 8th, wait till the draft, and see what we can do.
The good thing is it's May 8th, so we have more time to wait until the draft this year. That's the other thing. Is it's
That's
been
going to
pushed
be
back.
like forever long. So you know how long we're going to be talking draft? I mean, we already started talking draft, at week 2?
3
When
weeks
we
ago.
traded Trent Richardson, we started talking draft picks. So ad nauseum, it's all going to be draft all
Bad.
day.
It's just bad. Nothing good's coming out of it, I'm telling you right now. I don't want to think draft. That's how bad it is. Just,
All right, Tubby, there was one thing that came up today that I think was interesting, and I'm trying to remember who. I think it was Craig Lindell that said it. And I'll probably use it for the rest of the day too, because I thought it was a good point. Despite the fact this team only has 4 wins, I have no great desire to see anybody on the coaching staff get fired.
No, I don't. And what scares me is that Texas job. It hasn't been filled yet, and I think there's a good chance that Ray Horton could take that head coaching job at Texas. Or if not, he was a candidate last year for a head coach, and he's going to get a lot of interviews due to that Rooney Rule, and somebody's going to fall in love with this guy and steal him away. If I was Joe Banner and Jimmy H., I would offer him, I don't know, like a house, and a summer home in Putin Bay. I don't know.
How about a plane?
Give him.
Want to give him a
You
plane?
But something, throw hookers through his bedroom, something.
Oh, you could throw hookers at him. Great. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too scared, Tubby, about him leaving the team. There's a reason why Ray Horton was a free agent when the Browns got him. His defense has not been as advertised, even if it's not with the guys that should be playing in that defensive scheme. And I think that he wants to stay here and build on the guys that he has coming back, and then some of the offseason changes are going to make. So, yes, he is going to get, Rooney ruled in. I mean, obviously he's going to have some of those interviews, but I'd be shocked actually I wouldn't even say shocked. I would be surprised a little bit if the Texans decide to go in that direction and hire Ray Horton, because I think he's still an unfinished product and hasn't proven anything. My opinion.
I think his defense was as advertised. I mean, I watched his defense because he was in Phoenix last year. He was with the Cardinals, right?
Right.
The Arizona Cardinals.
It's a classic Steelers defense when it works.
Yeah, I mean, it was working, and and it was working where he was at last year too. The only problem is that I don't think that Norv and Chud's offense was as advertised. I mean, the game's kind of like an ebb and flow, a give and take. And when you got your defense, scoring the majority of your points on a Sunday, and they have no faith in their offense to move the chains and give them a break, by the end of the season, you get late in the season like it is, and it starts to fall apart. The wheels come off the wagon.
All right, Tubby, dance us out of here, my man.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You got to do it. There we go. We got my little dance.
Dance it out. Dance it out, bro.
All right. There.
That's what I think we all feel. Wasn't
If we beat Pittsburgh, I promise full-on big-ass dance. But
all right, cool.
nice.
All right, that sounds fun.
Full on, big ass.
All right, thank you.